Hey everybody, video 7, or maybe I should say 7.2. I already recorded the whole video and I do everything off the cuff of my heart. I don't, plan it. And then I discovered that my cellular data was off so that my mic didn't record it. So I've got a beautiful video of me doing mime. So I'm going to try to recap everything that I said there. So we were talking about vulnerability yesterday and about heart-love relationships and the importance of vulnerability in order to embody love. And what happens though when we've been hurt and we have heartbreak and we have trauma is the natural survival mechanism of our body, which is very wise in the moment, creates like a field of frequency that shuts us down, doesn't let us be vulnerable. We're more hypervigilant. We're always aware. We're looking. We're on the alert. And so being vulnerable feels dangerous. But vulnerability is the only way that we can actually be present in the moment. I mean, people talk about the power of now, but the majority of people are caught in the past or the future, and they're not really present to really know the now. And so when I went to Hawaii, I'm going to share one of the principles of Hawaii, manava. And manava means it is now. I am now. Sorry, I got that wrong. I am now. And if you look and you feel into your body, if you say it is now, it's kind of like it's not really, it doesn't resonate, and it now is something away from us. But I am now. I am now. I am this force of creation moving through me, creating. This is my moment of power. This is my moment of influence. This is the moment of choice. I can't change my past, but I can change how I perceive it and how I use it in this present moment of now. I can bring my hurt and my hate into the present moment of now, and I can take care of it and heal it and find out what are the learnings there, what are my self-growth moments through that experience that I can take that give me power. And the future, I can't do anything about the future except for plant the seeds today for the future I want. That's my power of influence over my future. And my power of influence over my past is to bring it in the moment and shift my perception around it. Create a perception, choose a meaning that means something that helps me, empower me. Manava. I am now. And if we're not in this frequency, we're not open to love, we're not open to change, because we're locked in our neuroses. One of my elders, he says, neuroses has no respect for time. It's one of my favorite quotes from him in my 20s. Imaho was his name. And this is what it is. When we're not in the present moment, we're just caught in our neuroses, ping-ponging back and forth. Fear of the future, pain of the past. Fear of the future, pain of the past. And we keep hardwiring ourselves with the stories we create and the meanings we create on both sides. And that locks our heart down. And it locks our soul down. And these experiences of pain, they're teaching moments. We're not designed, our body's not designed to pitch a tent in our pain and stay there. Or pitch a tent in our bitterness and stay there, or our anger. Or pitch a tent in our anxiety. We're not designed to do that. Our body can't handle it. When we do, this is why we get fatigued and we get sick. Our body is designed to house our soul, but we need to be present. And we need to be in an alignment with a higher frequency of love and light to do that. And the word aloha, in its deepest meaning, means in the presence of the breath of God. Meaning, the breath we're breathing, it's not just air. Like Morpheus says, do you think that's air you're breathing? No, it's more. It's the vital life force. It's the breath of God in our presence. And if you don't like the word God, breath of love in our presence, because aloha also means love. So it's up to us to make the choice to connect to that greater force. Oh, there's a little squirrel chewing up there. Oh my goodness, hello. It's up to us. That's our job. we have that moment of now, the manava, to choose, where am I going to go with this? Where am I going to keep going with this? And to be in the now, I need to be vulnerable. I need to be open to see that I don't know everything, that I don't see everything. I don't see all the pieces. Holo holo. It's a Hawaiian word for I don't know that my teacher taught us. Holo holo. It's a word of surrender. And when we surrender to that which we don't know, we become humble. And when we become humble to the vastness of this life and the vastness of our own individuality, that's when we become open and vulnerable for something new to come in, to learn something new, to find a new way to navigate. But if we keep defending why we're justified to be angry, why we're justified to be bitter, you know, men are horrible, women are even worse, they're horrible, you know, all of these stories we create, or you know, or that neighbor, or that person, or that star, or that whatever, you know, it's like when we defend our limitations of perception, we get to keep them. And guess what? Limited perceptions, what they do is they tighten. They get even more tight until we lose ourselves. We lose connection with our heart and our soul. We lose our humanity. We lose our divine nature of love and empathy because we're in survival. We're triggering and activating and growing our limbic brain so much that we lose touch with the beauty of what makes us human. And this world of duality is our playground, it's our school. So to be vulnerable means to be open, to see that I could be wrong. And maybe I don't see all the pieces. My husband showed me this Black Mirror episode the other day of a guy who was holding all this resentment towards his ex-girlfriend. And then an AI, she had died, and there was an AI thing that he put on his head to get his memories. And then he discovered that the story wasn't what he thought it was, but she had already died. He had totally written his own meaning, and because he'd written that meaning, he didn't let her reach out, and then their life, you know, was apart, even though they had been in love. And so this is what we do. I thought that was a really great metaphor for what happens when we lock ourselves down in beliefs and meaning that are not helping us to grow and heal, and they're not helping us to come home to ourselves and be vulnerable. I need to be vulnerable. Even here, I'm on this video, I'm being vulnerable. I'm sharing myself. I'm saying, okay, that's okay. What I have to share, I want to share because I know it's good stuff and it works for me and it's worked for others. And so I'm stepping out of my comfort zone to do these videos. And because of that, I'm growing exponentially. It's incredible. I can feel the shifts in my world just because I took this step to do this. So take a deep breath. And I want to invite you to be honest with yourself. And check in. Where have you pitched your tent? That's limiting your soul from its own evolution. Your soul is here to evolve. We're here to evolve. And when we lock ourselves in these denser inner spaces of anger, fear, resentment, bitterness, basically we're suffocating our own soul. We're not engaging in the process of life. We're engaging in the process of dying. And this is just, it is that. It's not just hyperbole or whatever. It is true. When we are not engaged in living, we're dying. Like a pond, it needs fresh tributaries to come in so it keeps moving the ecosystem and everything stays alive and new things can grow. And you know, but as soon as those other tributaries are shut down and it's just left to itself, what happens? It rots, it stinks. And all the life that once thrived in there dies. And this is what happens to our soul. This is what happens to us when we let anger, resentment, bitterness, and all these things take over our awareness and our being. Vulnerability is our superpower. That's where the most creativity can come from. That's where we are every moment. This moment of now, it's full of possibilities, waiting for me to tune in, waiting for me to take action. And my brain, you know, I remember reading a book that, It was already in like the 1920s. There's this young guy, I can't remember his name. He discovered neuroplasticity for the first time. But because he was so young, all the older professors, they ridiculed him and they said, no, that's not possible. And then in the 80s, they validated his findings. So we can't use that as an excuse. No, this is just who I am. I can't change. No, that's not true. You can. You can change anything you want to, but it takes effort. It takes vulnerability to make mistakes. It takes vulnerability to show up in new ways in your life, to share in new ways, to try on new things, to try new thoughts. There's a difference between choosing, not choosing to, and then saying, I can't. Because biologically, that's just an untruth. It's not true. Sorry. It's not true. You can if you want to. You can choose to say in this moment, I'm tired of being bitter. I want to reclaim my heart back. I want to love. Because when we say we don't want to love, it's a lie. We all want love. Love is our nature. So we got to catch ourselves where we're in denial, where we're defending our limitations rather than defending our possibilities. I was honored to be able to contribute a chapter in a book, Cracking the Rich Code, with Jim Britt recently. And that's my focus in that chapter was, we get to keep what we defend. Really let that land. You want to defend your limitations? Go for it, but you'll get to keep them. Then you'll just be, self-prophesying all of the failings and everything is going to happen because you're not allowing yourself to expand your mind. You're not allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to open to something new. And that's okay. It's a choice. But it's not a choice that can lead to anything fruitful or happiness or joy. It just doesn't. And we're wired for those emotions of love, joy, creativity, magic, love. That's our food. But we shut down and say, no, I've been hurt too many times. I'm not going to open again. It's really sad. Because not only are we, I'll say we, not you, but we shutting down our own soul, but we're shutting down the potential of sharing love with others. And that's the biggest gift there is. My heartbreaks taught me that when I'm opening myself to somebody, it's actually not for them I'm opening, it's opening for me. Because this is something I used to say, and so many people say, oh, I opened my heart to him. I opened my heart to her. They betrayed my heart. It's not true. We're sovereign beings. We're sovereign souls. We're catalysts. It's more, I'm betraying my heart if I don't let my heart open again just because somebody wasn't able to meet me there. Because they had their own story. Because that's all it is. So when I open my heart, I'm opening because this is opening my experience of me and the universe. And yes, there'll be hard knocks. Remember the movie Love Actually, where the boy and the stepfather says, let's go get the shit kicked out of us from love, right? When he had his crush. I went, yes, that's the force. Love. It's worth it. It's worth it for love. And again, not the romantic love. That love that endures all things because it knows there's more. So I invite you to take some inventory and feel out, where are you holding on to an identity that is robbing your soul of thriving and blooming, that's robbing you of joy and love. And I'm going to invite you to take a courageous step and do something. Do something that helps crack that open so that you can get a new tributary of wisdom, of light, of knowledge, of meaning, of perception that can crack that open so you can open into life the way you're designed to be. You're meant to be like an ecstatic supernova. You know, that's the nature of our frequency when we're in alignment. So that's all I'm going to do for now because it's getting late and I think I got everything from the original video. I hope so. If not, I'll include it somewhere else. But anyways, that was hilarious. So God bless you guys. And that's video 7. Good night. Bye.